Hi, I'm Julie Schmidt, and I'm here at Very Well with Willow Humphrey, who is a massage therapist and also a holistic craniosacral therapist. Hello, Willow.
Hi.
Hi. So maybe you could start by telling us what inspired you to become a massage therapist.
I would have to say that I was guided to this work from my own journey with health issues and chronic pain. And when I started massage school, I was kind of like doing it because I really needed hands-on healing. And maybe it seems like counterintuitive, but I was like, I couldn't afford it. And so it was kind of like, well, I'll just learn how to do it myself sort of things. But as I was in massage school, I went to one class, I sat in on a class. I was working at Whole Foods at the time, and my friend was a teacher there, and she was like also a massage therapist, and she was massaging me one day, and she was like, you should just come sit in on a class, you would really like it. And I did, and then it just felt like I was going to the class. But throughout that experience, I remembered from my youth, like as a child, my parents are both very active, like triathletes and stuff, and I would always be like massaging their feet, or like I was always massaging my mom's back for her. And then I even remembered when I was trying to get on the volleyball team in high school, like I didn't make the team, but as we were sitting around waiting to see who made the team, I was giving all the girls back rubs. And yeah, I've always been a very sensitive and touchy-feely kind of a tactile person. So as I was in massage school, they were like, oh, you're a really sensitive person? Great, you're in the right place. So I was like, oh, finally, I can just be myself. And then, yeah, it made a lot of sense to me from the beginning. So I'm really grateful that I found this path.
I am too.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful session with you, and I can tell you're very intuitive. So, you definitely fell into the right place. We're all guided to be where we're supposed to be.
I guess so.
So,
yeah.
So I know that you practice many types of body work, though. So in many forms. Maybe you could tell us which forms you practice and if you have a favorite form.
Totally. Yeah. So yeah, over the years, as I worked more and learned more and received more, my practice sort of shifted and changed and became more of a signature, if you will, as opposed to like at the beginning when I'm just learning Swedish massage or whatever it was, you know? So yeah, I started blending all these different modalities. Swedish massage, deep tissue, myofascial. I really love some Thai, shiatsu, sort of Brima. I work through the sheets a lot.
Right.
And really look at the body as a whole. So like the acupressure kind of stuff, I really try to open up the channels of the body for the energy to move better. And lately I've been doing kind of a combination where there's a lot more through the sheets, because that really deep work can be good for the whole body to relax. And then I'll do a lot more craniosacral and Reiki. So when I started doing craniosacral work, I realized that the Reiki energy was flowing, and like it just kind of became this whole thing where I was like, oh wow, I'm like doing this craniosacral work, but it is energy work, even though I'm listening to the bones and I'm listening to the fascia and really supporting the body to unwind itself and come into harmony. So I've really been kind of gearing more in that direction lately, just because I find that it's highly effective and easier on my body a little bit, and effective. So the combination between like the deeper work and then the you know, whole body kind of zoom out. So like the deep work and then the light work, it really like allows for so much space for the body and the person to have, you know, this sort of natural, organic unfolding really our bodies are self-regulating, and something that my teacher really taught us was that we aren't really doing anything to the body. We are simply allowing the container to be held for the body to heal itself. And I really love that. So frequently I just, leave all my shit at the door. Pardon my language.
Yeah.
Really just become an open vessel for however my hands want to be guided. And, internally I'll say a little prayer. I'll, tune in with the guides, and I'll just kind of give it up to the higher power to guide my hands. I just really ask for my hands to be guided where they need to go, and just maintain a curious point of view. And usually what happens is the person is like, wow, how did you know to do that? And I'm like, well, I didn't really. I was just trusting.
And that's what I really experienced in my session. When you say that, like, you listen to the fascia and stuff, I mean, I know you do. You're just like, you're being guided, and you're a good listener, and you're just really hearing and feeling what the energy is kind of guiding you to do. It was a wonderful session that I know I experienced.
Awesome.
So,
I mean, it just a little bit more about that is like our bodies are electromagnetic fields. So the fascia is actually, it's kind of like another organ where it's moving through the body at this rate. And I'm not like adept myofascial release therapist by any means, but tuning in with the bones and the fascia and just my electromagnetic frequency, like tapping into your electromagnetic frequency, and so much magic can happen there.
Oh, it really can.
Yeah.
So, and I think you've done some of your training locally, but you've also done some training abroad, haven't you? Or
it was that my Thai training was in Puerto Rico.
I think abroad we get a different perspective, and we're outside of our comfort zone. Outside, and we're just we really learn to kind of be in tune to a different environment, and we just really learn so much about ourselves.
That's true. I definitely have learned a lot from my travels in Panama and Colombia, and it definitely has had an impact on how I approach the body. So
would you have any one particular form that you really favor and like, or do you feel like you just really blend sort of all the styles that you know into your sessions? How do you feel about that?
Well, one of the reasons I ended up here is because I was really frustrated with the spa model. I was working at a spa before I worked here, and I was frustrated with it because people would either order a Swedish massage or a deep tissue massage. And then what happened for me was that like all this energy work started happening, and then like sometimes I'd be toning into the person, and I was like, is this okay? You know? So I really prefer the blend. However, that being said, the craniosacral energy realm is definitely available as a full session because there's so much we can play with in that realm. I also use my voice, like frequently I'll hum a song. Sometimes songs will come through for people, or like maybe I'll need to keep my hand in one place and tone into that area. So I love offering the craniosacral Reiki sessions as like a full session, including sound healing. Sometimes I'll bring singing bowls in.
Wow.
Which is super fun. I'd love to do more of that.
Yeah, because I know I've heard your singing in your voice. You have a lovely voice. That's definitely another one of your sort of gifted talents. So so it is nice when that just kind of flows naturally maybe in a session.
Totally. And sometimes I'll do that in regular massages because for whatever reason, like the muscle that I'm leaning into, like needs a little love, like how we just lullaby a baby to sleep. Like sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just be singing, and somehow that'll assist the process.
It does. Kind of it all does. It all works.
Yeah.
So, what kind of what would one of your clients maybe expect in one of your healing sessions? They're about 60 minutes long, or how long?
Yeah. So there's options. There's an hour. There's 75 minutes and there's 90 minutes.
And do you want somebody to specifically say they want a particular form of massage, or do you like it if people just come in and just trust that you're just going to give them sort of, a good massage? And I guess you ask patients and stuff what sort of is bothering them, and then you just intuitively tap in and just try to make them as comfortable as possible. That's a great question, because it actually ranges. Some people come in, I would say no matter what, to just trust, because some people come in and they think they need one thing, but then it might turn out that something else might be more appropriate. But then other people come in and they'll be like, well, this is what's going on with me, and so I will use the tools that I have to tailor the session to what they need. So most of the time I would say I check in with the person and see how they're doing, what do they want. Okay, sometimes they just want a massage. So when they just want a massage, meaning like they probably want to relax, they've got some tension, just the general thing, I'll just do my thing, and I'm usually very thorough. And then other times someone might have something more concentrated and we might work on one area of the body more than others. So it really depends on the person and what they need, and what they want, Right.
So
trying to give people relief in whatever way to make them.
Just meeting people where they're at,
Right.
So.
And I know you to be a woman of many talents, and I know that you know a lot about medicinal herbs and plants and herbs and that kind of stuff. Is that something that you can guide some of your clients on if they were to ask, or if they're starting a holistic journey and coming to you for, some body work and that kind of stuff? Is that something you can help them with?
Yeah, absolutely. Through my own journey with health and healing, I was definitely guided a lot to work with herbs and more natural healing modalities, and I have just gleaned a lot of wisdom from my journey, which led me to do a training actually in herbalism a few years ago. And I just continue to learn and grow, and a lot of times that will come up in a session where they'll be talking to me on the table and talking about what they're going through, and I'll be like, oh, well, this one thing could really be helpful. And sometimes I'll just give little suggestions if people want them.
Right.
And sometimes it might even be that, I could craft them a particular formula.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's something I've really enjoyed doing, is from what I know and what you're going through, these herbs together might be helpful, if might be helpful to their journey. So, I'm still learning so much.
Right.
So I don't claim to be this is gonna heal you or whatever. But yeah, and sometimes plants will just their spirits will come in, and I'll be like, okay, well, you probably want to check out this herb, you know, just check it out, research it or whatever.
I definitely know you're being guided. I know you just well enough, and the session I had, I definitely know that you're being guided. You're definitely tapping into a wonderful space and place. I really appreciate you doing this interview today, Willow. Thank you. Yeah. This is wonderful, and look forward to maybe learning more about your journey with herbs and whatever else, singing or sound healings or whatever else might be coming up down the road.
Totally.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you for being with us. I hear it very well. I hope you'll tap into Willow's videos and other ones in the future, and then also all the other wonderful practitioners that we have here at Very Well. Check them out at verywell.com. Thank you, and namaste.